Hi, this is Dana, and I am talking in this video about the current situation. It's God is pushing me since I woke up this morning to talk about the current situation. We are now at the end of the year, immediately after the karmic board meeting on 21st of December, when situational karmic cycle ended. So we witnessed divine timing for divine justice. Certain situations and people were judged, and many were punished. Now, what God wants me to talk about is the unfolding of the judgment and punishment, the punishment basically, right? What God wants me, it seems like this concerns many people, me included, of course. And I'm witnessing with you and I'm learning with you together how divine justice is being made upon divine judgment. Um, so what God keeps showing me that this is a process. The punishment is not one thing, one decision implemented instantly and it's over with, but it's a process, because these people in a karmic cycle, which usually have been repeated themselves many times in many subsequent cycles, essentially they have done lots of harm. They fell really low, and they have done lots of bad things. So they have many, many lessons to learn. So the punishment is going to be unfolding to as long as they need to learn these lessons. So essentially, when it comes down to this moment, you as a innocent individual don't have to defend yourself. It means that since you got to the judgment time, it means that you passed all the tests, and you learned your lessons about spiritual fighting and how to overcome darkness being sent to you unjustly, in all from all perspectives, from the perspective of you preserving your essence, keeping with light although harm is being done on you, but also in terms of learning how to do spiritual fighting. Okay, so these are two different dimensions, and also in terms of healing and so on. So you passed all those tests, right? So you're at the time when judgment is done, you're victorious, and then now you witness how punishment happens. And what happens now is basically a war, I would call it this way, a war between God and them. Essentially, you witness unfolding exactly the same things that they did to you, God will do upon them. Now, when God decides to punish someone, He's not going to say, you have sent for 7 years to Dana death spells, and all sorts of attacks, black magic, sorcery, and so on. Now I will send to you this. God doesn't do this. Okay? This is not how it works. Because I kept asking God, I said, well, if you punish them, then why is this not over? Why I keep getting attacks? I don't understand. And God said, well, I'm not going to now send darkness to them because they send darkness to you. How this happens is that we sit and wait for them to continue to attack you, and we send those back to him or to her, all the attacks that he or she sent. So you're essentially just witnessing how God is playing with them the same game that they have played with you. Okay, so it becomes a war between God and them essentially, and you're just witnessing it. And to me, it's still uh, shocking to see how much patience God has. Basically, He returns each and every single thing they've done. So God says, all who have slandered your name and did harm to you will now um, learn the truth, be embarrassed, and will bow to you in respect. Okay? All who betrayed you will be betrayed by those who they chose over you. Um, all they sent to you will be returned to them. So they will face the same circumstances which they created on you. So they will learn what it meant to you to fight that. All who denied you as a value, as a worth, and as a child of mine, sent into the world to do your purpose, all who mocked you, all who bullied you, will now need your help to survive. So they will have to come and confess and ask forgiveness from you. They will have to learn to be humble and to admit to the harm they've done to you. Um, for example, there's one individual who you cannot imagine. He consistently for many, many years essentially rallied people around me. This was an activity ongoing. He would rally everyone around me. He would have countless mistresses. And he will make sure that those mistresses hate me, although there was nothing between us. He just wanted to do harm to me, basically. And he rallied all my neighbors against me. He rallied all my co-workers against me, everyone on the face of the planet. He rallied everyone against me, and now said he will now have to leave, um, to see all of these returned to him. All those people, not different people, but those people who rallied against you and with whom he did black magic at you and slander and aggression and persecution and so on. Now all of those will turn against him and will become your admirers. To me, I said, to me, this seemed initially a bit crazy, honestly speaking. And they said, excuse me, are you now forcing me to go through the same shit all over again just so you can punish them? I just want I just want this to end. This was unjust from the beginning, from the very first second when it happened to me. I understood I had to fight for myself to stay with God. I did that. Now I'm done. You said you make justice. Get these jerks out of my life. That was my logic, right? The human logic. Well, God says this is a message you have to understand and you have to convey to others as well as a prophetic message. They need to understand how divine justice works, because each and every single thing they've done wrong, it is a lesson they need to learn, and there is no way to teach them, no other way. We gave them multiple cycles of 7 years of karmic cycles. We allowed them to learn and gave opportunities to them to learn these lessons from you and from others. They insistently continue to do the same thing. Now they must learn. They must learn the hard way. And all of you need to have patience with that, simply because this is why I made sure you pass all the tests, because this is their attacks will not stop until they learn the lessons. They will continue to attack you no matter how much I punish them until they learn the lesson. Hence, I am sending all back to them so they will learn, like the small child when touches a flame, a fire. They will learn that this burns. If you play with magic, with dark magic, it burns you. They will have to learn the hard way. And you, all my children who passed the tests, you will have to learn patience with divine logic. So they will learn this lesson. And this is simply because we cannot move into the next phase of the ascension towards 5D unless things change. And that means you learning your lessons, you learning to stand your ground and defend yourself, and they learning the lesson that they need to stop doing this. Because otherwise we keep ongoing vicious circle in which they keep sending to you, you keep protecting, defending, and fighting for yourself. And this is still preserving the same intensity of darkness on earth. This is not solving our purpose of ascension, right? So you must have patience with divine justice to unfold with lessons that need to be taught to them, even the hard way. And even if that means for you to still have patience a little bit longer, gradually things will stop, because we will, by sending back what they sent to you, essentially either they learn the lesson, or basically it will come down to much illness, much death, much the worst, simply because they are under punishment from God. They do not have the divine protection which we had when we defended ourselves. Okay, so when they send all of that to us, we had divine protection. We were allowed to be harmed only to the extent to which we learn how to fight and to defend ourselves. But otherwise, we had divine protection, right? Because we were innocent. Now, because they are guilty and they are being punished, they don't have the divine protection. So if they don't stop, if they don't learn the lesson, really, that darkness will harm them in ways they cannot imagine, in ways which they intended for us to be harmed. The death spells they sent to me did not kill me because I had divine protection, but as they keep sending death spells to me and those are returned to them by God, those will kill them because they don't have the divine protection. Okay, so God wanted me to learn this and also to share it with everyone, because I imagine I'm not the only one frustrated. Of course, it's been a long, long time, and um, many fights and wars I had to go through. I am grateful to God for the help, and to Jesus and to all my divine realm, and for every gift that they activated, and for everything that I learned throughout this fight. I still claim punishment on all of them. I don't believe this was necessary for me. But I am grateful to God that I overcame all of this, and to who I became. But what we, of course, I am eager to move into my new beginning. I do not want to be entangled with them. I do not enjoy because God showed me some of them hate me now because of the punishment they receive. And they said, I don't understand this. They harmed me because they hated me for no reason. And now they hate me because they get punished for what they did to me out of hate for no reason in the first place. So this is just, people are just crazy. They simply don't get to understand this. And God said, you need to explain this because there are many people frustrated, and many people that receive justice, divine justice right now. They don't see the justice because you all have still a wrong perception of how this should unfold. You can see even many tarot readers that read on this energy of this happening, and that them themselves complain, and they say this energy has to stop, this attacks has to stop. And God said, you go online and explain. This will gradually diminish for you, for those innocent. But for some time, we still need you to witness this, because this is my justice. I want them to see. I want them to see you not being touched by what they do. I want them to see how this is returning to them, so they will understand that they need to stop. This is where the harm comes, because you sent harm to other, and now it's being returned by God to you. So I want them to see this. So I need you to still have patience, and the justice I promised to you in the new beginning, it's all yours, and will come to you, but will come gradually. You need to now rest and recover. There's a lot of shedding of darkness, of exhaustion from fights and so on, that you need to recover from, and you will step into your new beginning and your justice, your divine justice. But for now, this is um, how divine logic and divine justice looks like for those who are under punishment because they chose to wage war at God. Essentially, this is what the essence of this war is. It is a war against God. And this was the very first prophetic writing I wrote on my Facebook page exactly 4 years ago. This is a war against God. Each and every one of us that have been through spiritual fighting, we know this. This is a war waged by extraterrestrial forces, dark forces, through them against God. And this is the time when God steps out into the light, and he's fighting them himself. I hope this was clear enough. God insisted that I would go online and share all of this with you guys. I hope this helps you to understand better the current phase. God says we have to keep going exactly like we have been doing before. Just avoid engaging with them, because those who pass the tests don't need to prove themselves, and they learn their lessons. Um, we are being rewarded, and we just now are being asked by God to just sit back, watch, and allow for divine justice to being made. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, so we make sure that my work gets to as many people as possible, hopefully helping them to understand and to overcome certain situations. Thank you.